Today I'm finally harvesting my yalmu, which I'm going to use to make yalmu kimchi. They might be a little bit past their prime. When I go to the grocery store, the leaves are just a tad bit shorter, and these have started to go to flower. So I'm hoping that doesn't change the taste too much. But yeah, time to get these out of the ground and make some kimchi. It's a baby radish! This is wicked cool. I'm so happy. Just kind of scrape away the little encrusted dirty bits. This is a big radish. I grew that. I wanted to do a garden update since it's the beginning of July and things are going off. I'm very excited. There are a few things that are actually edible right now, a few things that are starting to look like they're on the verge of being edible, and I'm going to test a couple of things, my carrot and my daikon radish. I'm really excited because my cabbages are cabbaging. They are starting to close off at the top. My purple bok choy, it's beautiful, these gorgeous amethyst color leaves, but it's gotten really hot. It's been in like the mid to upper 90s. I noticed that when I cook bok choy, this purple bok choy, it actually changes color. So, I think the heat is cooking my bok choy and now it's starting to turn green, but it's still edible. So lesson learned is that I need to put them in a shadier spot when I replant them. So over here I have my giant sweet basil and also some lemon basil. I really like lemon basil. It actually has a lemony taste. And then I have my dill, which I'm going to use for Russian cooking. A bunch of tepa for Jason. And then I have two varieties of heirloom tomato. This one just keeps growing and not putting out tomatoes, so I need to make sure I'm doing okay there. This other one here is starting to put out big, beautiful heirloom tomatoes. They're still green, but I'm very excited for when they actually ripen. In this area here, I have some mint and some raspberry growing side by side. I did what is not recommended and I planted mint in ground. It's a very aggressive grower and I know this, but I kind of like to just try things out and see like, what's gonna happen. So I probably will try to pull this up at the end of the season, but in the meantime, I've been really enjoying seeing how full and lush it's gotten. I have three types of mint. I have chocolate mint, which is super fun. It actually has a like chocolatey smell. It kind of reminds me of mint chocolate ice cream. And then I have peppermint, which is super strong and intense. And then I have mint julep, which is sweet and feels like it belongs in a cocktail. It's really delicious. And then over here, I have borage, which is just kind of to attract pollinators to the yard. The flowers are edible and they're also very pretty. And then I also have back here some raspberries. I have 3 types. I have my Honey Queen, I have my pink raspberry, and then I have my Caroline raspberry, which is the kind of store variety. I don't know what it is about my red raspberries, but something keeps eating them before I get to it. There is one raspberry protected right now, so I'm gonna try it. I'm not gonna lie, I feel like people say a berry fresh off the vine is like no other. Maybe I'm not fertilizing it enough, or maybe I'm not giving it the right conditions, maybe it needs more sun, but it tastes delicious. It tastes like a store-bought raspberry. Over here is my yellow raspberry, and it's actually been doing very well. Maybe I'm just used to the taste of red raspberries, but the golden raspberry tastes very, very good. In this box here, this is my most recent addition to the garden. I have a lot of chamomile to attract pollinators. I also will be turning this into chamomile tea because I suddenly am obsessed with chamomile tea and it's so calming. This is a variety of purple pea that my friend gave me, and I think it's stunning. The flowers are this beautiful purple, but the peas are also purple as well. Then I have 3 varieties of zucchini. I love zucchini. It's such a versatile vegetable and it can be used in so many different types of cuisine. I have my Korean zucchini, which is growing very aggressively already. And then I have an Italian variety, which looked really beautiful as I was selecting seeds on Rare Seeds. It's this kind of pastel green, almost a mint color. And then I have a variety called gray zucchini, which also looked really interesting. So I'm excited to try these concurrently and see what variety I like the best. On this side of the box, I have 4 Korean cucumber plants, which I will be using in a lot of different things, and they're starting to grow a little slowly, but making some progress. This box here I'm super, super excited about. This is a kabocha squash. I have a couple here growing. I think I should have loads of kabocha. I wanted to try trellising this because squash take up a lot of space horizontally, and so I've seen a lot of people training squash upwards and able to have more room in their garden. So I've just been adding clips here along the way as it grows. I'm also growing some collard greens, which I'm really excited to use in Southern cooking. The leaves get huge on this, so I definitely don't imagine I will have any shortage of collard greens come like 2 weeks from now. So one of the reasons I came out today was to check on my daikon radish. They say that you typically don't want to plant it before the fall, I think, because it impacts the flavor with the heat. But I just like to test things on my own to see if it's true. There's nothing there. It's so small. Also very small. So I think I'm going to leave the rest of the radishes in the ground to just check it out, but I am going to cut these up and just have little baby radishes. Probably grind them up, maybe use them for soba or something. They smell like radish, so we'll see. What the? What? Was not expecting this. The only other carrot I pulled up had this really weird shape. It looked like it was crossing its legs. So I don't know why my carrots are kind of being all wonky, but it's edible, and I'm excited to try the taste. So it's going in my basket. What am I doing? It's like a pencil. I'm going to make basil oil 2 different ways. One is a method that you actually blend first and then cook out the moisture for about 30 minutes. And then the other method is one where you blanch first and then you blend next. So the idea is that one ends up having a little bit more cook time and heat applied, and then the other one is as minimal heat as possible. Recipe says to use as little oil as possible just to get this blended. I used about 1/3 of a cup of oil. I used initially a few tablespoons and then I added a full 1/4 cup. Alright, water just started boiling, so version 2 is blanching for 20 seconds and then going into an ice bath. Now we need to wring out the basil and place it in here. Now I just have to drain out the solids. I switched draining vessels, so if you have like a pour over filter, I think that might actually work the best. But yeah, this is gonna take a while. It's pretty straightforward. I just need to pick off all the leaves, clean them, and then I put them in a jar with some vodka and wait 3 months. I cleaned out these 2 old whiskey bottles and I'm going to put the mint leaves in here. I know these are going to be a pain in the butt to someday fish out the peppermint leaves, but that's going to be a future problem. So I got quite impatient and I basically just started trying to press it through, but it was like dripping 1 drop at a time. And we finally got there, so I'm going to pour this into this. A little bit of like water is in here as well, and I saw that some recipes say to put it in the fridge and then scrape off the oil, so we'll do that. So this is version 2. I'm gonna put it in the fridge to separate. It doesn't look like there's a ton of oil that rendered. I put a 1/2 cup of oil. Maybe with time it'll come back out. So this is version 1, and the recipe called for this to be on medium heat for 30 to 40 minutes, and I feel like I really quickly realized that even just a touch below medium, it started burning or toasting. So I put it on low for the majority, but I still feel like this has kind of a toasty scent to it, which I'm not sure I'm about, but we'll give it a try. I'm making a dough for my quiche, and my butter here is frozen, and I just want to show you the sound of frozen butter being chopped. It's really fun. So in here I have 250 grams of flour, a pinch of salt. This is 125 grams of butter, and then this is 60 milliliters of really cold water. I usually just do a quick mix just to get all the little butter crumbs coated in flour. I use a fork for this just to minimize heat. Then I go in there with my hands and I actually get squishing. I kind of do this. Luckily I'm cold-blooded, so I don't warm the dough up too much. This is looking real nice. I want this to cool for about an hour, maybe less, just to kind of cool it down and solidify it a little bit further before we roll it out. For today's quiche that I'm making, I'm using some seasonal ingredients. I'm using zucchini, some asparagus, and some leeks. I think that a lot of French cooking traditionally uses a lot of fresh seasonal vegetables, so you'll see a lot of these types of things spring, summer, and then you'll start to see a lot of like squash-based things in the kind of autumn. I really like that. I think a lot of American cuisine is a bit more, we do eat seasonally some parts of America, but I think generally the prevalence of preserved foods, whether it's canned or frozen, dried, things like that, are a lot more commonly used. So it's less seasonal and just whenever you see a good deal at the grocery store. So we eat corn any time of year. Potatoes are a common staple. Things like zucchini are found in the grocery store year-round. So yeah, I think it's nice to kind of eat with the seasons and really feel the taste of summer or the taste of autumn. But yeah, I've seen a few different quiche recipes that use mushrooms and spinach, or salmon and leek, or things like that. This isn't necessarily like a very stereotypical French combination, but I know it'll taste good together. Cute. What do you mean? Asparagus and some leeks. Mixed in here, 5 eggs. Some creme fraiche. Some cheese. A little salt, and lots of pepper. doing a half cup of ricotta. Okay. I'm doing about a quarter of a cup of some grated Parmesan-like cheese, lots of black pepper, a good heap of salt, a little bit of garlic, some lemon zest, basil,
Right?
oh my gosh.
So that heat is going all the way up there and then it's coming out here. Right? So if you touch here, it's actually really hot. Chicken worked great. It was so easy. It was quick. I only did like an hour and a half.